Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone between the ages of 1 to 100, whoever is watching this episode.
I get it.
Welcome to Prediction Markets Analysis, episode number 4. We're going to be talking about deep dive into prediction markets. And based on our analysis, we've set up a set of laws of prediction markets. And before we get into any of that, let me give you a disclaimer. This is not financial advice. It's only analysis for education purposes only. I personally don't do any kind of trading in any of the markets, either Kalshi or poly markets at all. So I don't do any of this at all.
Seriously?
At least by the time this video is recorded, or I don't have any kind of methods to do any of this by the time I'm recording this. It might change in the future, but getting back to the topic, you shouldn't either. And if you want to do it based on the analysis that I do, then you're on your own. Do whatever you want. So
That's simple. That's simple.
based on the previous type of analysis we have done, and you don't have to go through all of that video at all, or if you want to, just go and watch the videos. I've got good memes over there.
Wait, what?
So we have laws of prediction markets. Law of prediction market number 1, if a market impacts another market, the vice versa is also true. That means if you see any of the markets over here, or any of the markets over here, any of the charts that you see over here, if this market is actually impacting this other market over here, or pro football champion market over here, if this market impacts this one, the fact that this will impact this one is also true. That means if one market is linked to the other is also true.
Okay.
Law of market number 2, number of markets impacted on one market can be n number of markets. Basically, there's no limit to how many markets that you have. You can have n number of markets. There's no steadfast rules at any given time, because the economy is so tied up with so many macro and micro decisions. They're tied up with each other.
No limit.
Law of prediction market number 3, severity and impact on other market by said market is unknown. You cannot measure the severity and impact of other market by said market, because for that you would have to have you have to have like AGI. Even I think with the real-time transient nature of the market data, it's really hard for them to even get to that point. Maybe in 10 years we'll have like a quantum computer be able to calculate that prediction. Even that I doubt. Anyways, law prediction market number 4, uncertainty in the market can always be modeled but never be accurately predicted until it is resolved. Meaning, you can model the which way this is going to go, and you can have like a model that says you can have better odds than 88% for Los Angeles or 12% for Minnesota in this live game going on right now, or you can have different kinds of prediction for all of these are just models, right? You
Uncertain.
can have a model like that, and you can model it, but you can predict it until it's actually resolved. After this is resolved, you're going to get a yes or a no. The percentage is always going to be a yes or a no, but it's never going to be out in the ether, right? Once it's resolved, it's resolved.
Resolve.
No.
Law of prediction market number 5, always take the historical precedence of prediction market into account as an indicator, but never the norm. Meaning, for this kind of a prediction market where you're declaring the mayoral election, right? Historically, there's been different kind of precedents on who's won or who's not won, or let's say, for example,
Waiting?
if we went to something such as, I'll give you a very easy one where we just go to, let's say, climate, right? Climate is a really good indicator for historical markets and everything. Highest temperature in LA on October 24, 2025. Probably there's been a historical market about October 23rd, 2025. So you can take that into account as an indicator, but it's never the norm because uncertainty in the market, because we go back to law number 4, which doesn't break the law number 4. Uncertainty in the market can always be moral but never be accurately predicted until it resolves. So historical norms and historical data can always help you out in terms of modeling it, but the resolution of that and the answer for that is always after the fact that it's been resolved. And once it's resolved, the betting is already closed. That means it kind of balances all the laws. So these are all only the 5 laws of prediction markets that I've set up, and
It's only 5 now.
this helps me kind of do analysis on a regular basis on what sort of little bubbles these prediction markets have. So let's start with the easiest ones that we have. So we'll take this market, right, for example. So what we do is this, now that you are all caught up and how we can do analysis. So highest temperature in LA 2025. So we have a market, and by having this market like this, well, one of the best ways you can do this is you can put all of this in a grapher, something like a Notion or let's say Obsidian, and they can graph it all for you, or you can use any sort of AI tool. But I just like to figure out first like how I see it, right? Because
I see.
you are doing an analysis from a human perspective, not only from an AI perspective or data analysis perspective. You need to first understand the relationship between everything else, and then once you mind map it all, then you can put it in a mind mapper software and then increase your efficiency. But
My motto is simple: efficiency, efficiency, efficiency.
whenever you're starting off, you need to set off the idea with the way you can do it in a notebook. So basically, I'm using this computer software as a notebook, and I'm drawing allegations, and I'm drawing. I'm gonna come to what an allegation is. It's a jargon for how
Well, they make allegations.
this framework is set up, but I'm going to talk about different kinds of relationships you can build. Relationships and allegations are a little bit different. So allegation is not in a terms of a legal allegation where you're just putting like a blame on someone. Allegation is by its norm sort of an idea where you're trying to set up sort of a
I am Iron Man.
relationship that cannot be resolved. So we are kind of dealing with a lot of laws over here. Just call it a relationship. Yeah, it'd be an easier way to explain different things over here. So what we
And sometimes it bites you in the ass.
have is highest temperature in LA on October 25. If it's resolved, we make it green, and if there is a market that's not resolved, we make it red. So
Red.
red is the type of markets that you want to analyze, and blue is the type of markets that you don't want to analyze, or basically you just want to think about it and answer. Now what we do is we figure out what is the climate market over here. So let's say climate, this is September. Okay, do you want to do this? Okay, so let's do this, right?
Let's get started.
So what you have is a lending, and we want to do 12 for this, right? So what we have is a market over here, right? And this one's still not resolved, so we mark it as red, right? So what we are trying to solve is basically simple from a perspective where we're do 12.
Faster.
Okay, so what I've also told you is there is a vice versa relationship. So we make it into a two-way diagram, right? If one market can impact the other, it's a vice versa relationship. Where do we get that? From law number 1. And
There are lows.
the law number 2 says we're not only limited to one, we're limited to unlimited numbers of markets. So let's find another one, right? We just found one.
Guys, take a look at this.
Yeah, so will 2025 be the hottest year on record? Okay, so we sort of make a
faster.
I want to do this. This is not resolved yet, so I'll make it red. So one of the good things about this is this has a two-way relationship. So
Faster.
not only does the highest temperature in LA have a two-way relationship with a hurricane land, because it will impact the other one, but I'll tell you something else. This and this has a two-way relationship as well, because the type
Faster.
of relationship this has with sort of relationship with this one. So we sort of have a loop over here,
Faster.
right? So let me just do this and just do. All right, so
Faster.
what we have is a sort of a relationship diagram. I want to just delete this and make sure that I can make there's another tools for this over here. So basically what we have over here is I can draw, make it a line, and okay, so
Finally.
yeah, sort of a, this is an easier way to understand, I think. Yeah, makes it easy. Yeah, why did I even do that earlier one? Some of the times, kids,
Shut up, old man.
if you think you're smart, you're really not smart. If you think you're really dumb, then you know, you shouldn't think that way. If I'm out here making all these graphs
Oh, so sweet.
over here, then you should do. Yeah, I like a little bit of color coordination with this, but because I like colors a lot, not the TV show or channel or anything else. If you don't know what you don't know, then you're in for a treat. So
Things we don't know that we don't know.
yeah, so basically what you need to do is sort of set up a bubble diagram, right? So what this will be able to give you is the n number of sort of graph diagrams, and then you can figure out like a scientific way to take a climate data from a prediction market, and then we can take this and map out the volatility with which the policies are made. So what I
Makes sense.
want to do from this point beyond, and I'm trying to build, is a volatility index based on different kinds of APIs I get from these prediction markets. So APIs are basically these really small little lines of codes. And if you don't know what an API is, I'm just explaining to you. If you already know what an API is, so API is basically a line of code that gives you all these tools to get all these graphs and all these pictures and every sort of little data that you need
Data.
to do and make these things with a code editor or something like that. So with the code editor, we'll be able to map out all these little things and then make like a sort of a scientific graph to figure out like how the prediction market is going to actually impact carbon credits. That's my general purpose in doing this science and making sure if the carbon credits that we price and do pricing for in the project that I'm actually doing right now,
It's about money.
is the carbon updates dashboard, where we have allowed people to actually from all these countries to do really good work in terms of adding solar, adding saving their environment, saving their jungle, forest, and everything else. They're trying to do really good stuff over there. And then what I'm trying to do is making sure that these people who are doing all these good work, making sure that they're doing a lot of good work in terms of climate change and everything, so that
Environment, like the whole environment?
what they can do is um, they can do climate related work. They can do energy related work. They can make wind turbines, biogas digesters, rooftop solar. So you can go into dashboard.carbonupdates.com and utilize these tools as well. But my idea is whenever people do these, they have sort of a carbon inventory and they are able to save up the carbon credits. And based on the carbon credits, they're supposed to get either more machines or more money based on this. And
Bluffing.
how do you price something? There is, of course, traditional pricing mechanisms with which carbon credits are priced. But what I want to also do is take these prediction markets indicators, and these are really good surveys because people are putting their money into it. And I'm taking these surveys and all this data and the amount of volumes it's traded to actually see how I can take this volumes and all this and see how much of an interest is it on a real commodity.
Commodity fetishism?
This is more of a chance, and there is more just you're based on sensor data. There's a lot of issues with resolution and everything else. So what I'm trying to do is make it into a real commodity that has a real world impact. And when we do carbon credits like these, and when we generate carbon credits from all these countries, you're actually giving people all these machines, you're giving them an incentive to save the environment. That
Environment, like the whole environment?
it's going to be good for the future generation. So that's the general idea, and that's
a general idea.
why I'm doing this from a scientific perspective, because I want to take this and do that for this project. And there are other ways to do it from a perspective where you can take this for humanitarian aspect, and then you can take it for scientific aspect. For example, if there is a better biogas digester, right?
It's natural gas.
Or a biochar maker. Fascinating things, right? Small machines that would be able to help you out in terms of generating a lot of energy and making sure that all these methodologies are also doing it properly. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to understand. Like all these machinery and everything else provides the idea that you can make a lot of good in the world by doing good things, right?
Oh, so sweet.
And basically we made CO2 calculations. I want to make this CO2 calculation graph. This graph is not going to be a straight graph, it's going to be a curved graph, and we can take that from a perspective where like you have lower generation of carbon emissions, because the carbon emissions form, I don't want to get into too much of it. I know that most of you might want to just follow along and see it how that impacts, and you're trying to just make money off of it. But see, this is my actual project. That's what I want to do. I want to take this data and sort of draw these graphs and solve these equations. Right now, within this getting back to the topic,
Thanks, Linus. Let's get back on the...
within this bubbles as well, we need to be able to find, now what I want to do figure out is how do I add a traditional market, right? So if I want to, let's say, solve for carbon credit, right? So I will do carbon credit simulation. So what we need to do is figure out the carbon credit simulation, right? And since this is at the heart, we're trying to solve for price simulation, so that if all of these numbers, so if this volume is going up, right? So what are the things that we can do? So I'll give...
What can we do?
What can we do?
Give you a perspective like what sort of analysis I want to do now, right? So since we are doing carbon credit price simulations, right, what are the facts from these markets that are connected, that is going to to affect my current price simulation, right? So one of the things that I can see is the sort of
Faster.
policy impact temperature, policy awareness temperature of the public. So basically what I mean this by this is I want to do this first, okay? So I want to do the policy impact of the policy awareness temperature of the public. Like, what does this mean, right? So what it means is, let's say there's like a clear indicative term or a norm that there is a graph for hottest year on record, right? Now, if there is people saying yes, and they're betting yes, 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 but the outcome is no, that means there's really a bubble on carbon credit prices, right? Right? If the people are not willing to believe this fact, and they're not willing to be able to put their money where their mouth is, and the data is also towards this being the hottest year on record, there is an idea. Now that's a different scenario. Now that means there is a possibility that I can price the carbon credit markets really low, and I can hold on to it, and when the carbon credit or this real scenario really jumps in and um, really impacts it, the people who are utilizing my dashboard to make their projects can earn more money. I can tell them when to sell their carbon credits or when not to sell their carbon credits.
That's simple. That's simple.
Get it? Right. So this will be able to provide them more chance to install more community projects, more regional projects, say more get more opportunities to get more solar panels, get more opportunities to get more dryers for their food, which is usually not safe in the third world or these kind of countries that we are trying to help out. There's not a lot of resources available in these countries, right? If you really look at Nepal, if you really look at Sri Lanka, you're looking at these two countries that have gone through a lot of political and economic changes recently. And what that does is it impacts the ability for these people to get access to food and get access to really good water and all that. And it's available in abundance, but having the technology to store these things and make sure that these things are utilized properly and you can get maximum benefit without harming the environment, that's the aspect that people really lack. There's a lot of people that are just getting by in these countries. So what we are trying to do is help get them capacitate themselves to save their
Environment, like the whole environment.
environment, and while at the same time not compromise their quality of life. So what we do is policy awareness and the temperature of the public. It will give us the idea when to sell these carbon credits or when to maximize our benefits. And two, what we do is also now I'll try to guide you from a perspective where we are trying to solve this problem in terms of giving the people the most amount of benefit, right? So policy awareness, temperature of the public, and second is price volumes, trading frequency of carbon credits, right? So let's say there is the highest LA, right? And the first part is there is like a really good awareness. So Kachi doesn't have a lot of that, but let's say if there is 1 million of volume riding on this, right?
1 million.
There is that much amount of money that is riding into this, right? So this person has 63,000, almost 64,000 in a no, right? If this person is betting this much on this volume, right, the amount of certificates we can give them for long form, sort of like a commodity where there's a lot of insurance on this part, the price volume would tell us that there is actually a market for carbon credits. If this actual person, right, for example, whoever this is, I'm not trying to put this person on blast. If this person can actually make a buy these certificates and they can sell these certificates on like different kinds of California Stock Exchange or California
Commodity fetishism?
exchange for carbon credits, let's say what we are trying to do is the cap and trade program and CCEX. Let's go. So we go to this platform, and let's say if they go to the exchange and they do sort of carbon financial modeling, bilateral trading, and everything else, right? So it's coming soon. It says it's coming soon. That means
Well, that was a bust.
this one's not the right one. I think I saw the. I think expansive.com has carbon trading spot pricing on this as well. If you're doing all of that, you might as well do this. And so sort of CO2 allowances, these are the future contracts of the California carbon allowances. There's the European carbon stock exchange. So this will be able to tell us that the direct carbon pricing is there is sort of a volatility to it, and this will be able to give us the sort of trading frequency will give us the volatility. Third and the most important aspect of it all would be the
Most important.
so once that we know there's a policy awareness in the awareness temperature of the public policy, let's not put temperature because temperature would be able to give you sort of, you might be confused. So there is policy awareness of the public, there's price volume trading frequency of the carbon credits, that's what you get. Then there is the third part where is the pricing mechanisms and the ROI for buyers. So based on 1 and 2 we'll be able to give the pricing mechanisms and ROI for buyers and sellers, and based on that our platform, if somebody comes to Nepal, there's a different sort of a pricing volume
In Nepal. Nice, quiet Nepal.
and mechanisms and everything else, and all of this is dictated right now. Will we be able to add more points to these? Of course, absolutely. The whole idea is you're trying to figure out the carbon credit price simulation, right? So we'll have n number of markets, and as those n number of markets go, these facts, these numbers are going to be at n number. So these factors are going to be like da 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 n number of factors. There are factors that are going to impact all of this. So that's the general idea for today. So what we did today was figure out how we can sort of map out all these based on laws of prediction markets, and we can take all of this and make it into a system where we can figure out how we can do scientific studies. I'm doing it for particularly like the climate related work. You can use the same framework for any kind of other kind of scientific thing. Maybe you can do drug discovery
I believe you.
and see if let's see, drug anti-cartel operation medicine. Let's say there is 0 for medicine. Wow, people are not betting on FDA. I think I saw FDA thing a while back. So let's say FDA. Okay, yeah, so sort of you can look at this and then yeah, this is like a really good. Maybe the next episode is all about drug discovery instead of carbon credits. But I'm more partial to carbon credits and everything, given my background and everything. So yeah, go to carbonupdates.com. You can utilize the prediction market calculator. You can use the EU ETS calculator. You can use the Corsia estimation tool. There's a bunch of stuff. We have the Agri tool that we made for people in Nepal, where they can just go to a map and draw stuff and figure out how to do that. That's for another time. For today, it's all about laws of prediction markets, how we are applying that, and then without breaking the laws, we are figuring out how to do that. And
Hey, how do I get out of here?
finally, a disclaimer: not financial advice. Analysis only for educational purposes only. And that's about it. I think I spent half an hour talking about all of this. So thank you. See you, and I hope you enjoyed all the memes.